Okay, so it's Diego Zigzee. Got it.
Welcome to International Racing League Season 7 for the F1 tier at round 7 at Austria. I'm your commentator IRL, and I'm joined by my co-commentator Nexus Aspect.
Hello.
Well, it's Kevin, you guys may also know us.
Not quite Nexus anymore.
Oh yeah, no longer. I'm still used to saying that. It's now Aspect.
Yeah.
We have 19 drivers today. It looks quite a strong grid today, as we see Jamie's come as a reserve today, as he was in the Alfa Romeo team. He's trying out for the Red Bull. As Brett will be coming back for next week, he will be back in the Red Bull, apparently with Felix. So Brett will be coming back after his ban he had, which he has learnt his lesson from. As Halvor says, Sandra for the win, and Lewis is being Lewis. You never know, to be honest, Sandra could win, you know, if he gets some good pace out of him for once, you know. Right now, I just need to make sure the stream is all good. Yep, all is good, right. We will go down incident in a minute. I'll wait for everybody to ready up. Actually, Kevin, if you... Actually, no, yeah, you're doing a tweet on you, doesn't matter. What?
Actually, I have it done if you want me to do something.
Yeah, could you just read out the incidents, like what the steward said for the report from last week? I'll just get this up.
Alright. Actually, only two incidents. One between Pedro and Nino. Nino got a 12 race ban for intentionally taking out another driver, and Jay, cutting the pit lane, got a 5-second pin, which put him from 4th down to 8th.
Yep, that's all the incidents then for you. And Halvor, me being honest about Sandra, I think he's going to be a top 10 today. I think he's going to try and get some points for his team, as Eric did most of the work last week, as he was unfortunately not here. While we were now, apparently it is a full grid, which is good to see. Now, hopefully we don't have any connection issues with Lucas Serra like we had in Spain. Excuse me. Because if that is happens, we're not... Oh, no, we've got good connection with them today, looks like. And we are in. Well then, Kevin.
The tweet's definitely up now.
Oh, that's great. The tweet is up then. Qualifying prediction for you then. Who do you think is going to be your top 4?
Wheel versus pad is very equal around here. I know that. So it's basically whoever's fastest will take it. I know that is Aaron here, Aaron Collingwood. He is. Yeah, I'm going to put him on pole because I know he is quite quick around here. I'm going to put Matthew Older in second, and I'm going to put Jay in third.
You can already hear a lot of cars getting their engines ready as the Red Bull driver is coming down the grid, and I believe that may be Felix Nedwar. Actually, no, it's not. It's actually Jamie Morris, so we'll go on board with Jamie Morris then. But while we wait for him to go around the lap, he just loses it out of the pits there, and that is a big chunk of damage, and that's his qualifying. He's got to wait till next lap, as Eric is next up with Casper behind. But I think Eric's actually going to be first, or is it going to be Cameron? I can't tell. But as my qualifying prediction, I think it's going to be Aaron first today, with Matthew a close second, with Jay third. And I'm going to give Lewis Curtis a bit of good luck for 4th. I think he can get somewhere today, as he's had a few poor results, as Austria was one of his best results this season. And I think Eric will be the first one out there. I don't know why Cameron's actually trying to get past him, to be honest, especially when Eric's on soft tyres. But Eric will be the first one to go on a lap, and we'll get on board with him. This is now in approaching turn 9, as Cameron has backed off then. As we do have a full grid, which is great to see. As here comes Eric then round the final corner, has to make sure he doesn't get any invalidation, activates his DRS, try and gain a lot of time up the straight. Wings are crucial up here. See how he takes turn 1. Nice how he rides that curb, doesn't invalidate. Misses the exit curb a little bit there. Loses yellows. I think that's people just slowing down to start their laps. Let's see how Eric takes turn 3. Apparently that little kink is turn 2, but this is now turn 3 then. Nice and tidy. It's really pushing the car to the Eric is. See how he'll take turn 4. Rides curve a little bit, runs a bit wide. Rear is absolutely stable on that Toro Rosso. It's just planted. It's got a lot of grip near the back end. Now to the double left-hander as he takes it in 5th gear. Some people do apparently take it in 4th gear, which in my opinion can use you a little bit of time. 5th gear's got a bit more traction as well, could help you. Let's see how he takes these final 2 corners. If he makes one little mistake, it could be easily invalidated. Keeps it within track limits. Goes on the final corner. Oh, it goes over the line. Is that an invalidation? It doesn't say on the track map. No, it's not. It's a 1.45. Takes provisional pole. Cameron Young's a 4.8 on medium, so only a couple tenths off that time. Casper's a 5.6 there. As times are coming quick and fast right now. If Kevin, do you see anybody else finishing their laps?
I see Thesianman in the racing point coming around as a few more people finish up. He comes to the line anyway, and he's going to go P4 as the 4.4. And Matthew Collings there puts it in 2nd, just behind, oh, not just behind, 4 tenths behind Matthew Alder. So the 2 Matthews locking out the front row of the grid for now.
That is true. BRT Matthew Alder is CRT Blizzard. He's the championship leader in the Williams as he's going side by side with Brandon, both not on laps. However, I'm going to have to just adjust my audio, apparently.
It's quite close to Matthew's time. Eric's not just as well, so
yeah, Eric improves on his 2nd lap on those soft tyres. So Eric is definitely going for the soft strategy, and it looks like. And the strategy around here is soft to medium. But if a safety car does come out, it's going to be a very interesting play, especially for the medium people on the medium tyres. Because they have a choice. They could go hards, because the soft runners will possibly go hards to the end. Sondre is in 10th
another
right
bad
now.
lap from Cameron Young there on the mediums. Doesn't seem too far off the competition, although it is early in the qualifying session.
Yep, that is true, of course. He is currently sitting in 8th right now as the Williams team are preparing for another car to go out on a lap. As Lion is still on a lap, well, on an out lap right now. I think we're going in the pits. Felix is in, and you've got to make sure that you take the pit entry correctly, because if you don't, you will get penalised, same as France, so another 5-second penalty. As JME is actually now getting ready to begin a lap. This time, got no front wing damage, as he got at the start of the session in the pits. They've still got 12 minutes 50 seconds remaining, so there's probably Jamie probably could do 2 runs maximum, I think, on those softs, unless he could squeeze a 3rd run. It's going to be close. Jamie, I believe, the furthest one out on track to. Yeah, he actually is the closest to actually start a lap. So if you want to go on board with
Curtis
Jamie,
is in the middle of a lap in
is he actually on a lap?
right now.
Apparently. Is he? Oh, he is on a lap. Yeah, if you want to go on board with that. Yeah, my bad.
So through the 2 left-handers, he goes quite wide. He doesn't get an invalidation, luckily, as he goes up on the gravel as well, so that probably helped in slowing the car down and keeping his lap validated. So now through, no, actually he's on an in-lap, although he looked to be going quite fast. So I guess we will go on board with Jamie then. Coming down the 2nd straight, coming up to the hairpin, turn 2, now coming to turn 3, even though this is really turn 2 in my eyes. Coming out very hard to get the traction down right. He seems to get it quite well in the Red Bull. So now coming through to sector 2, the S kind of section here, right straight onto a left. He hasn't validated yet. It looks like a pretty clean lap. Going through the first left-hander and now through the second one, and now he's going to have to maximize his exit, get out on the curb as much as possible without invalidating, and that will affect his run all the way down through this corner and into the final corner. Now he comes. What is it going to be? Accelerating to the line, opens DRS, and it's going to be a 4.7, so actually not maybe as representative as it could have been for him.
Yeah,
As also, I saw Diego just went P3 there with a 4.1.
As Diego is now a full-time driver in that Haas now, as he got third last weekend, I believe, or second.
Third.
And he's also third then, and he's looking strong for another podium position and possibly championship contender maybe next season if he can't get it up to speed and challenging Matthew. Of course, next season.
Was that a Pedro going 8th there? Or a Siegerman going 9th? I'm not sure.
No, I think that might be Pedro, because Siegerman is in the
actually.
pits.
Oh, and Aaron puts it on provisional pole now, it's at 3.9, so he's obviously up the pace, saying if you want this pole, Matthew, you're going to have to really put a good lap in, and that is quite a good lap, and very close between the top 3, really. Only a 10.5 separating them, just underneath.
That is true, of course. We're on board with Thiesemann, or as Voss, as I call him, right now. He's around the final 2 corners. He's currently a couple tenths up on his time. Got to get the nice, tidy exit to the final corner. DRS active, what time will it be? Pole position, a 3.8 there. That is a good lap, and he's possibly now saying to Matthew and Aaron, you need to step up your game if you want to try and challenge me in the race. And Matthew answers straight away and challenges him already. 3.7. Matthew now retakes pole position where he says he wants to be.
Speaking of people who's going to step it up, I'm sure Jay's going to try and step it up now. So he hasn't set a lap yet. He's coming through turn 1. He's going to get a bit of slipstream off Ollie on the exit. Now he's going to come up to the hairpin of what I'll call turn 2, because I refuse to call it turn 3. And he's going to go down to first gear, short shift to third on the exit to get the traction down. And he sets a purple first sector, so he's really on it. Going for this pole position, trying to get on pole in front of Matthew. He's going to need this pole as well, as Jack Levity puts it in P2 with the 3.8, so really close between the top guys right now. Can Jay answer for it at all? Goes on to 4th, short shifts up to 5th for the exit, and it's going to be the exact same for this corner. He gets up on the curb trying to maximize his exit, and he does just that as we have yellow flags of people getting out of the way. So it's through the final 2 corners for Jay Drawbridge. Through the final corner, he's going to have to maximize his exit. Can he put it on pole? Coming across the line now, can he challenge? He does put it on pole, just 7 thousandths of a second.
There's 5 people right now. Aaron, Voss, Jack, Matthew Oda and Jay all fighting for the positions. Lewis Marshall is in 7th then, as he has come as his second race in this season in the Ferrari yet again. And he's currently in 7th right now, as one of the Alphas are leaving the pits. But that is a very close top 5 there, Kevin.
Yeah, it really
Same
is.
top 6, really.
It shows the competition that we have right now. Everyone wants, or seems to want, that pole position today. Everyone, of course, will most likely be on softs. It is a standard strategy, so everyone's on more or less a level playing field as well, so that helps out with the competition at the front. And right now, of course, we have Jay on top by just a small amount, but that could all change once people start setting their final laps.
Oh yeah, that is true, of course. From on board with Lewis Curtis right now, who's currently done a lap already on these softs, but hasn't set an actual valid lap time. Currently, his laps have been invalidated, and he's currently now in sector 2. It didn't say what he was up on his lap, but that may be because he actually hasn't set a lap compared to his invalid. Let's see how he takes the double left hand. He goes to 4th now. He's the only person I've seen go in 4th gear. And look at that, just messes you up a little bit there. And he's currently purple in sector 2 apparently. And he loses it, control the car completely, and he's in the grass and gravel there. And that, he's lucky he hasn't lost a rear tyre. That was a weird way that race point went. It just looked like it lost complete grip at all, touched the curb and went. And unfortunately, that's that qualifying run at game over. He's going to have to go for a new set of soft tyres, and he will be very disappointed with that.
Yeah, right now, Jared, I'm on board with Diego Zignigo coming through those same 2 left-handers down to 4th, short shift to 5th. Like I think you were saying Siegenman was doing the other racing point. So through to the final 2 corners, you got to carry a lot of speed through here. And he does just that as Williams right in front of him. That was very lucky. Coming up to the line, and he's going to open up his DRS. He's going to go faster. No, did he?
He does.
I think he went a little faster, but I think not enough.
I think he lost a little bit of time there because the camera just, I don't know what camera was doing that. But actually, some more interesting information. Aaron Collingwood has got a 5 grid place penalty. I just saw at the bottom end of the screen as Diego crossed the line for apparently illegal blocking, and he will not be happy with that, and he's definitely wanting to go and get Paul Nard to start into 6th place or 5th, I believe it is. But Cameron Young, I don't know what Cameron did. It just looked like... I've noticed both Mercedes-powered cars, Williams and Race Point, have both now lost it on traction. Cameron lost it on the final corner. I don't know why he didn't wait for Diego to finish his lap. It's kind of dangerous the way he entered his. Lyon is on a lap, currently a couple hundreds up, but he's invalidated at the moment, so we won't go on board with him. How about
Aaron Collingwood is...
Oh, is Aaron on one? Oh, right, we'll go on board around that. If you want to
through the second left-hander, and he's gone after Magnus Moises. He gets up on the curb a little bit. He didn't want that to happen because that will hinder his run just slightly. Down to this corner, he's got a little bit of traffic up ahead. He goes into the pits. That's Jamie Morris there in the Red Bull combing through the final corner. Now he gets up on the curb. It is valid, and no, he can't make it to pole.
Well, Brandon did improve on his lap from 12th to 8th now. I've got to say, Brandon has been not the quickest in the Mercedes team. Jay has been basically the top guy in that team right now. Brandon has had a podium.
Put himself in podium positions like in Championship, who's obviously quite a lot off Matthews. So
Jay's just and takes pole position. He wants to do another lap. He needs to quickly get to the pit as soon as possible. But yeah, there is some interesting information on Brandon though. He has a bit of pedal issues on his wheel. There's an issue with his brakes. Apparently his brake sometimes just brakes randomly, which he's not used to. So he may not be actually with the pace today, as Lewis Marshall's not that far off him, only a couple hundreds at the moment. Ollie's actually not that far off Lewis Marshall either, and he's actually coming out to begin his final run, I think, in qualifying as...
only lap, presumably.
Well, then we'll round the final 2 corners. Oh, that's very close to track limits at the moment. Here comes Matthew now to the line. What time? Not Matthew, Lewis Curtis to the line. Goes PA 141. So that Lucas. It is.
It's Curtis. He had the fastest middle sector, so obviously maybe he's running a bit of downforce, but obviously it wasn't enough for pole.
Well, Ollie is currently purple in sector 1. This
down to 4th and short shift to 5th.
Yes, and you'll still possibly report that. And that's Ollie.
I think what the game gave there was fair enough. A 5-place grid penalty. He got it for the collision. Being 5, he puts it on pole position provisionally, and Jay is finishing his first sector. He's a 10th down actually. He's not improving
by a couple of hundreds, and that's his quality, I believe, over. Oh. And here, we'll go on board with Jay right now. He's currently a couple hundreds down on his lap. However, he's still got purple in sector 2, and it's invalidated. That's an 80th.
Aaron Collingwood is half a 10th up. It doesn't look like enough for pole, but he's going to improve as Matthew Older gets out of the way from him through the second sector. This is all he can do. Coming up to the line, can he put it on pole? No. 3.8 and puts it in 5th. And he also has that 5-place grid penalty. So actually, he's in P10 right.
Could possibly happen. As I believe last season, Jay actually did win at Austria. For some reason, my camera angle's gone like this. I don't know why it's like this, but okay. Matthew then does take pole position officially, with Aaron Collingwood also and Diego getting a 5-grid place penalty. They will be going further down the grid. So then Matthew Order does take first, Jay in second then, with Matthew with a 3.5. Jack Laverty will be happy with third with a 3.6. Voss will be happy with fourth. Aaron Collingwood for 5th, but won't be 5th in the actual race. There's actually a few people got 5-grid place penalties there. Cameron Young 6th, Diego 7th, Jamie 8th, Lewis Curtis 9th, Eric 10th, Brandon Glover in 11th, Pedro in 12th, Lewis Marshall in 13th. Ollie also got a 5-grid place. Matthew Collins in 15th, Casper 16th, the Bottlehaug himself in 17th, Sondra Sohaug. 18th is Felix. Will be very disappointed with that qualifying, because I have seen him done a quicker time before that, and then it was, I believe, Lucas Serra and then Lyon, I believe.
Yeah, an interesting thing I've just realised, Jared. You wouldn't think it, but Matthew Older has only taken his second pole. His first pole was in France, second pole only today.
It's true, of course, and the weather hasn't helped the drivers. We finally get some rain for the F1 tier. You know, it's been a while, it's always been dry, and the rain is here. And apparently, it's still dry enough for slicks, it looks like, because the Williams team have got soft tyres out in their pit box. So it's going to be very interesting how these drivers take turn 1. Are they going to take it cautious? Are they going to take it aggressive? We don't know. We're going to have to wait when the formation lap does start. And the race prediction then, Kevin. What do you think your top 4, top 3 is going to be for today's race?
I say this pretty much every week, but I'm going to need to see the grid again. And now I can see it. I am going to say that Jay is going to take the win, finally, once again. His last win was actually all the way back at Bahrain. He hasn't got a win ever since then. He's gone a while without one, so I think he needs one. I think he could get one today, and I think he's going to come away with it. In second, I am going to say Matthew Alder. I feel like him and Jay are going to get away at the start, and they're going to be fighting, but I think Jay's going to come out on top. For third, I'm going to put Aaron Collingwood. I know he is quick around here. He can make the overtakes, so I think he'll come through for a P3 today.
I was about to say something else, so I started joking. I think Jay then is going to take pole and win, of course. I think Jack Liberty is going to be second with Matthew Alder third, and I think Aaron Collingwood's going to do a recovery drive. He's currently 9th right now, and I think he's going to take 4th. But as I say, these conditions are tricky, especially when they're on the dry tyres, and it does look like it is going to turn inters very soon. Doesn't look like there's any sunlight in sight right now. But with the 5 grid pace penalties, Aaron Collingwood dropped to 9th, Diego dropped to 12th, and Ollie has dropped to 19th. So Ollie will be really frustrated, and especially when he's behind Lucas Serra but ahead of Lyon. So he's in an Alfa Romeo sandwich right now.
That is quite true, as we see the cars getting ready to line up on the grid. Small gaps, is actually like 3 as the grid is split up in 2. But we see Matthew taking his grid slot, and now that's it. He's done everything he can in the first kind of round, if you will. The second round, of course, is the race, and they're all lined up now, and you can take the start.
Okay, if you can look at the back of the grid then for me. So there could be chaos behind, but hopefully there isn't. As we're waiting for the sequence of lights to start. As now the light sequence has started, now with 2 lights, 3 lights, now 4 red lights, now 5 red lights. I'm waiting for them to go off, and they're off, and it looks like the Mercedes had an okay start. Bit better than Matthew. Matthew's bogged down in these conditions. Jay takes the lead straight away into turn 1. And that's what he needs. Jack Levitt is getting split by the Williams, and the racing point there of Lewis Curtis. And there's contact behind. There's a few cars going off the track, and there's big contact between the Toro Rosso and a Renault. And Aaron Collingwood has left the session, and that is him out. He can no longer rejoin. And there's a VSC straight away, and there's everything flying, carbon fibre, and a lot. As people are trying to get back into their positions, it looks like. And Lewis Marshall's also left the session. Yeah. And Sondre has also been involved. Both Toro Rossos, it looks like, have got a bit of wing damage.
Yeah, I won't lie, as much as I tried to keep up with everything, all of a sudden there was about 4 cars half spun, another 2 cars spun around. I honestly don't know what caused that, but I'm sure something is going to be done about it after the race.
Lucas Serra's gone off. Lucas Serra somehow spun it on the VSC. Maybe trusting the ghost and not was on, but Sondre with the wing damage, he won't be after that. As we now go back racing, and Matthew's already trying to overtake Jay round the outside of the final corner. Gets the traction somehow. We just missed that, and Matthew gets the position done. And Matthew retakes lead as both Williams
trying to look down the inside as well. For a second, he can't make it work though.
As the Williams look
Jay
very strong
on the exit.
Brilliant traction. We're going to go 3 wide. Is Cameron now showing Matthew Alder he has the pace to win a race? Could go 4 wide. There we go. Jay does take it. Matthew tries to switch, a bit of contact there from the Williams team. Cameron just rear ends.
On this racing point round, is there?
That's Lewis.
Half spun, I think.
Yep, Lewis went off there.
Yeah.
There's battles all over the place right now, Kevin. Although we're going to focus on the front at the moment for a little bit. As Matthew Alder's now lost another position. Jack Laverty's got ahead to second now. This is not the championship points leader.
Yeah, you have to say it's a perfect situation for Jay right now. He's got a car in between himself and Matthew, and now he can try and push on. Obviously in quali he was very close to getting pole. I think that might have added to his race pace. Maybe he's a bit annoyed that he just wants to get on with it now, and it looks like he is, as he's almost pulled a second gap to Midnight behind, or Jack Leverty, and now Matthew Alder's going to have to try and get past him to have any luck at getting past Jay now. And he's also got Cameron Young, who looks pretty racy in the just behind him.
Yeah,
but here comes Matthew Alder, and it looks like actually Jack Leverty's maybe making it a bit easy for Matthew. Maybe he thinks just let him go and be easier for me. It's actually Cameron Young tries it down the inside of Jack Leverty, but not able to make it work.
Yeah, some interesting information on Smash. He's got to leave IRL. It's the only league I lag in, so he's saying he has internet issues, which unfortunately is a shame to hear. But about Oli Flavel, he had a poor quality with the contact with Diego, but now he's last after spinning it earlier on in turn 2 on the second lap. Now, that's not good for the McLaren team, especially when they want to score some decent points. Jack Leverty looks like he is the main driver, especially in third place right now, as Oli has retired, so he has called it a day. He won't be happy at all. However though, Cameron Young, as you did say, is looking quite tasty for a podium today. However though, that lunge he tried to do in turn 2 was going to be very late, and if he did make that work, there possibly could have been in contact between him and Jack Laverty as Matthew Alder sets a new fastest lap. I'm going to try and slowly close down Jay. Kevin, I was actually expecting a bigger crash with these conditions as it is still raining a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the track is a little slippery. Turn 1 wasn't amazing. Obviously the rain would have added to that. But it looks like everyone's more or less got through without wing damage at least. Not too many people affected. Down to 13th, at least it looks pretty okay. So yeah, I'm a bit more surprised that we didn't see a busy pit lane at the end of lap 1.
That is true, of course. And Matthew Alder is picking up the pace a little bit now. Again, he was a second behind last lap, now 4/10 to Jay. So Jay may have had a great start and good traction, but looks like Matthew at the moment is quicker in this stage in these conditions.
Yeah, I've just picked up Jamie Morris is trying to go down the inside of Matthew Collins. He is going to be able to go down the inside of Matthew Collins side by side. They go, no they don't actually. He hangs back.
Well, it looks like the racing point of Lewis Curtis possibly going to challenge Pedro, and he does, gets the position done round the outside it looked like. And yep, Lewis is through, but look, Lewis is struggling, looks like with the traction a little bit. Lewis Marshall's AI goes to 13th. Lucas Serra's had a good start now into 14th position. Aaron Collingwood unfortunately is no longer in the session, so he's 15th now. Phillips in 16th, so he got a bit of damage there and he's on the medium tyre compound. And Diego was also collected in that start of the race. So right now we'll go on board with JME and Matthew Collins, as Luke Windler says, God, the sweat. I want to know who the sweat is. As Voss gets a 3-second time penalty there added to his time. And time penalties are crucial at this track, especially if you can't go away from DRS, well, people behind you with a DRS. But there's one thing I've got to ask though, Kevin. Do you think it's safe enough right now with these conditions that DRS should be active? Because it is raining, in my opinion. The rain is going to pick up a little bit more possibly later on in this race. Do you think they'll disable DRS very shortly, or do you think it's going to stay up?
I think it's going to be a bit like Canada, where everyone's going to be on dries the whole race, but it's going to be raining the whole race, so it's going to be slippery. But obviously, if dry tyres is the quicker tyre, then DRS should be active. So I think it's going to stay that way.
And then Matthew Collins is pulling away a little bit from Jamie now, but Jamie's slowly closing back up in the corners. So it looks like Jamie's there. Has got a. Oh, Jamie almost loses the rear a little bit there, touching the curb. And it looks like Jamie's got a good downforce package. However, on the straight line area, he's a bit lacking compared to Matthew Collins. Matthew Collins looks like he's got a lower aero package, and Jay's picked up a pace a little bit more now against Matthew Alder. Gap now stabilised to 6 tenths roughly, 6 and a bit tenths. Cameron Young has lost a lot of time from both drivers now, 2.2 seconds. Possibly team orders there from Cameron and Matthew. Matthew possibly telling the team that he needs Cameron to stay behind by 2.3 seconds or 3 seconds at least, just to be safe in case he makes a mistake. However, don't count out Jack Laverty though. As I've said, Jack Laverty has got the pace to get a podium, as we did see in Bahrain.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, he's shown pace. I'm pretty sure he's won a race this season as well. He hasn't actually. But yeah, he's been on the podium a few times. He has shown that he does have quite a lot of pace. He has also got a little bit unlucky here and there, but it looks like things are looking pretty good for him in this race. Obviously, he can see a podium, and I'm sure he's hungry to get that podium right now. So I'm sure in the next few laps, we'll maybe see him have a look at taking that away from Cameron.
That is true, of course, as now Matthew's picked up the pace a little bit more now, quite quickly. So Jay's made a mistake. The gap was 6 tenths, now it's 3 tenths now. So there's battles all over the place. So Williams possibly going to make an overtake, and Williams possibly going to lose a position. Right now.
Yeah, he looks very close. He's close up so much. You can see the difference in the braking zone. He's just gained so much time. He's going to open DRS. He may be able to go for it into the right-hander. And he's going to stick behind, but I think next lap he won't be that nice, and I think he's maybe going to be looking at a move very soon. Looking behind, Jack Levity's still got the same gap to Cameron. He's not being able to close up yet, but Jamie Morris still seems quite close to Matthew Collins. Maybe he is just sticking behind to keep his ERS up. Of course, looking at it, he's got quite a lot of it still, almost a full battery. So yeah, maybe that's his plan for a bit and then attack later on in the race.
Yeah, that is true. Of course, these soft tyres will eventually start falling off the cliff, and I think the pit stop window for these tyres around about lap 12 to lap 15 in that scheduled area.
Speaking of pit windows, Siegemann is now in for his stop.
Oh. If you can keep an eye on what tyres he does go on, as I keep an eye on the battle for the lead, in case he goes intermediates, as the Renault's also pitted as well. Ooh, as Matthew
almost hits Jay. That was very, very close.
And that's crucial. Lost a lot of time there. Lost around about a second. It looks like Ross has gone on medium tyres then, and Pedro on another set of softs. So Pedro's probably doing a two-stop strap and waiting for the rain to pick up.
That was, you have to say, that was a bad mistake from Matthew, especially for him to making it this level. He needs to be getting past Jay to keep extending that championship lead, but now he finds himself outside of DRS range, so that's gonna mean that it's an even bigger job for him to close back up.
Well, yeah, that is true, of course, and right now Jamie is on the back end of Matthew Collins. Well, Matthew Collins peeling to pits. You remember, you've got to take the pit area the correct way, of course. And look at Jamie now, he is picking up the pace. Is he on ERS mode 2? Will he go to ERS mode 4? Yes, he does. DRS mode active. Will he go in for a lunge into turn 1, or is he going to be patient and wait? He don't get the best entry into turn 1, however, though, trying to get rid of that dirt. Yeah, it is very effective there, as Matthew Collins actually made a little mistake on the rear end of that Ferrari. And here comes Jamie now. This is his turn to make a lunge into the hairpin. Will he do it? No, he stays behind at the moment. Going to possibly wait for the next trick. Got to get the traction correct, and he does. And this is his best opportunity he can get for this position and to overtake, and moving up to P5 right now. Nope, at the moment stays behind. Wasn't close enough there.
Yeah, you can just see that he seems to be attacking a lot more. He's following a lot more closely, and he seems to be not necessarily using his ERS as he gets very, very close to Matthew Collins. He maybe thought about a move down the inside, but thought better of it as well. And now he's going to be in the slipstream. He's not going to be making a move into the next two corners, but and he has to correct his car.
Yeah, that's just looked dirty. Yeah, that wasn't just because of loss of grip on those softs. But the rain has started to die down.
Here he comes anyway, though. He's in the slipstream. He's going to go down the inside for turn 1. No, he's going to hang back, but now he's going to get a better exit by braking a bit earlier. He's going to activate overtake, and he's going to open that rear wing. And he's going to be going down the inside, side by side, into the hairpin, and he's going to get it. That was a very similar move to the one Vettel did on Hamilton in real life there in 2018, I think. And he gets it up into 5th.
Does a 189. Sorry to cut you off there, Kevin. As it looks like, oh, as Matthew almost rear-ends Jay and me there. That was close. Had to lock up. Rear end kicked out a little bit. But as I was trying to say, Pedro in 14th set the new fastest lap right now, and he's currently challenging Voss for 13th.
Oh, it looks like Jay's in. It looks like Jay is in from the lead of this race. He is in for a pit stop. He'll inevitably be going on mediums, and Massey follows him in. Neither of them, from what I can see, cut the pit lane.
Jackson as well, so Cameron's going to try the overcut then. Let's see how Jay's pit stop. Will he get held up? No, he doesn't. Gets released straight away. But what about Matthew? Will he be... No, he's not going to get held up by the team. I kind of say Jay's actually getting a little bit of time now. Jay's teammate is just ahead of him, challenging Lewis Curtis. Now, we did say last race that they weren't going to work as a team. And there's Casper. A car between Jay and Matthew. What Jay really needs right now. And Jay needs to catch up with his team.
Matthew Collins is very close to the back of Jamie Morris, and Jamie Morris has lost the car on the exit. And Matthew Collins gets through for P2. That was a big moment for Jamie Morris. Obviously the conditions aren't helping, and he loses the spot to Matthew Collins there.
Well, you say the conditions are not working right now. It has actually stopped raining. I thought it was going to carry on rain to the remainder of this race, so it looks like it was never going to be intermediate conditions, and it is dry now.
This is actually an interesting concept here. The two Mercedes are following really closely. Jay obviously leading this race, and Bran gets out of his way, so this is really good for Jay now. He has a car in between himself and Matthew that's definitely gonna be holding up Matthew for all he can on mediums as well, so he'll be able to hold him up for quite a bit.
Yeah, Jamie and Matthew Collins are in the pits now for their scheduled stops, and it's quite surprising there what Brand did, because they did say they weren't going to be doing team orders, but that looks straight away as team was Matthew goes to fourth. Yeah. Here comes Jay now, going around the outside of Lewis Curtis into turn 2, as I call it, but in the actual thing it's turn 3. Brakes really early, does the switch, and Lewis Curtis runs completely off the track. And Jay retakes the lead and is on a mission to try and win this race.
Yeah, he's obviously really on it. He retakes the lead, as he said. He's got two cars in between Matthew. Matthew will be most likely held up in Sector 3 by Bran. So that's not going to help him out, and he also has Lewis to get past straight after. So obviously Jay will be getting away and Matthew will be getting held up, so it's a perfect situation for Jay as Lewis is in now for his stop as he pulls to the side, and Matthew's really close to Brandon Glover. He's going to open DRS. Brandon is actually going to get DRS as well, and he's going to go on the inside. It's going to be a pretty easy move, it seems, into turn 1, and he'll get that up into second place. But can Bran answer for it? He's going to have DRS now. He's going to be in the slipstream. He's going to be in overtake mode. Can he maybe get back down the inside? Matthew's going to defend to the inside. He's going to go around the outside, and it looks like Matthew's maybe going to be keeping that position for now, and he does, and he gets it open to P2.
And that's good news there for Matthew there, but it isn't good news for Brandon. He's been caught by Casper, and Casper's now in 4th. He isn't actually meant to be up here. He's actually meant to make a pit stop very soon, as these guys on the mediums doing a one-stop strategy. They're going to be quite out of position.
Interestingly, Eric hasn't pit yet on his softs. Seems to be the only one. He is the only one who started on softs and has stuck with them.
Oh, yeah, that is true, of course. He's on 13 laps on those softs. Those softs should be starting to fail at the moment, unless he's managed to keep them under control. But if I was him, I'd pit. I'd pit right now, but does he pit? No, he stays out there. I just need to make sure he didn't make leave overtake.
Yeah,
but
I think he can take those tires 15 laps pretty easily, so I think that's where he's going to take the tires and He's going to take mediums the rest of the way, which could work out for him. Having fresher mediums than other people around him at the end of the race.
Yeah, you are correct there, of course. As Boss gets a 3-second time penalty again. That's now 6 seconds. Oh, as Brandon shoves a little bit of Casper a bit off the track, which he's allowed to do, of course. And there you go. Casper is on the outside, but won't have the inside line to the corner, and they're going to get really close, almost touching wheels. Brand locks up on the right front there. Casper round the outside. Great move. And great driving there to get through. Now Cameron Young is looking for the position. Got to be careful with the overtake, because one little mistake. Oh, and it could almost end in tears. Someone got wing damage. I don't know who it was. Was that the McLaren of Jack Laverty? I believe
it looks like it was Jack.
Oh, Sondre's out.
We saw a bit of his front wing.
Sondre is out. Is that Aaron Collingwood? We will go on board with Aaron Collingwood right now. That's a VSC. That is crucial for the people who haven't pitted yet. And I believe that's Jack pitting, so he will be happy with that. And Cameron looked like he just brake checked Jack Laverty there through the corner.
Eric got it as well, so perfect for them. But Brandon, it looks like he was just on the wrong part of the track, and the same with Casper, and they didn't get to benefit from the VSC.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, Eric obviously kept his tires out for a bit longer. I think it was actually a scheduled pit stop as well, so that helped him out.
Sorry, I'm just going to have to cut you off a little bit. Lion went completely off the track there, where there was a little bit of contact between Jack Laverty and Cameron Young. And he's now in the pits. And I saw Sondre's terminal damage he had. It looked like he's lost control completely on the straight somehow and gone straight into the barrier.
Oh, Lewis Curtis and Matthew Collins are going at it for P9 right now. Lewis Curtis looks like he just got past and is up into P9. He's on 1 lap fresher tires, and actually I think he's one of the ones who benefited from that VSC, I'm pretty sure. So, oh no, he didn't actually, 2 lap old. So yeah, Lewis gets ahead of Matthew Collins.
That is true, of course. Both racing points are in 8th and 9th right now, so they are going to get some points at the moment. As Yells yet to get in sector 1, that's Line. He's called it a day. Where is that? Well, we'll go on board with JME if it'll let me. Where's he lost that? Is he? Oh, I think he's crashed in the pit lane. Luckily Ghosted's off, but for some reason JME doesn't realise that. Has to avoid, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. Oh no, it's VSC, that's why. When did that pop up?
I think that's for Lucas or something. I saw a ghosted car and
yeah, that was lying.
It wasn't moving.
Okay. Jack gets 5-second time penalty even for ignoring yellow flags. Apparently, he will not be happy with that. Especially now he's in 12th. He was possibly looking for a podium position, but that got ruined by Cameron Young. And Cameron Young was trying to possibly make a move on, I believe that was Casper and Brandon. And he's, again, trying to make a move under the VSC. You've got to be careful under the VSC. You don't want to gain too much time. We'll keep an eye on this battle for P3 right now. Or net third. Will Brandon pit? No, Brandon stays out. And no wonder why. VSC does end, and we go green, green, green. And here we go then. Round number 3 with Casper, Brandon and Cameron Young. Brandon gets a decent exit out of turn 1.
He's going to be looking for it down the inside. Cameron Young is going to capitalise on any mistake either the two of them make. Brandon is going to be ahead on the exit. Cameron's going to get involved in this. It looks like maybe 3 wide. And Cameron goes through, so that's Casper losing 2 positions in a corner and a bit of a straight there, so that's not great for him. And now Cameron Young is looking down the inside. Actually, that would be a great move if he pulled it off. It looks like he is going to pull it off. Down the inside still into the next left-hander. And he's going to make that move. That was actually a very opportunistic move there. Very, very good move. Up into P3 for him.
Yeah, that's a very good move right now as Lewis Curtis and Matthew Collins going side by side. Matthew Collins gives him no space there. You can't do that, mate. You've got to give him space, and Lewis will not be happy with that. And Matthew Collins has to be careful that he doesn't get reported by the stewards, and it could lead to a penalty. But yeah, as back to Cameron Young, that was a great move from Cameron Young. I wish he did that a bit earlier and not cost Jack Laverty a bit of wing damage, but it is what it is. As Brandon then has lost now position 4th now, and Casper now in 5th. I don't know what these two are doing right now. I don't know how long these guys are going to go out, because they're going to have to go softs, and they're going to lose a lot of position. They're probably going to come back out in about 13th, 14th position, and right now, Pedro's under threat by Voss. Lewis Curtis gets ahead of Matthew Collins finally into the hairpin. Jack Laverty also gets past Eric. And Diego sets a new fast lap 6.6 right now. New fastest lap. There's yellows. That's a Alpha. I believe, well, it's the only Alpha which is left is Lucas Serra. Lucas Serra's done something. So right now then we'll keep an eye on
Matthew Waller's quite
Lewis.
close to Jay right now. Coming through turn 1, the gap is less than half a second, so he may be able to make a move, as Jay will be benefiting from a bit of DRS from Aaron Collingwood's AI car. So that will help him out down to the hairpin, and maybe he'll get DRS on the exit as well, so this might help him just hold on. No, he won't. So can Matthew Walter do anything to get past Jay right now? He is closing, and he's not going to be able to at this moment. He's going to stick behind, but you can see now he's right behind. Both of them have the battery to use, so they're definitely in a good fighting position, especially with the next contender being 6 seconds down the road.
Well, Lucas Serra
so
has
it really looks like a straight fight between the two title rivals.
That is true, of course, and right now Lewis Curtis and Matthew Collins are still battling out side by side. As look quite equal on pace, looks like, but I think Lewis may have a little bit of an edge on him.
Oh, and that's Lucas Serra around
yeah, he's out
in the entry.
So right now we'll still board.
Seems like Jay just got a better exit off of the first corner.
Jamie gets a penalty, currently in 6th right now, going to possibly cost him a couple of positions against Pedro and Voss. Pedro still needs to make a pit stop and go on the medium tyre, of course,
And,
I believe.
Lewis Curtis is getting past Matthew Collins for P9, and he gets the job done. But can Matthew Collins do anything, especially with Lewis losing the back end? He's going to up DRS, he's going to look to the outside as Lewis covers the inside. And he's going to have the inside line. No, actually, Matthew Collins gets it just before the corner and keeps P9. And we also have a bit of fighting for P6. I think that was Pedro getting past Jamie for, or the other way around, I'm not
No,
sure,
Pedro actually made the move on Jamie there. But I've got to say, between the fight between Lewis Curtis and Matthew Collins, they've been at it all the time, not giving each other that much space for each other, a bit of contact. Oh, it looks like there, Voss almost rear-end Jamie. I thought he was going to go straight into that rear end, but right now Voss looks a lot more comfy on those mediums, and he's done 13 laps on those medium tyres, and he looks like he's got a lot more pace than Jamie, and goes on the inside into turn 1. Jamie tried to switch look at the exit of that Red Bull, goes alongside, they're going side by side. This is basically a drag race. Who's got the lower downforce? As Jamie possibly going to lunge it into the hairpin. Yes, he does. Race point is still there. Of course, there's a bit of contact there. It looked like Voss lost the rear a little bit into JME, and luckily that didn't collect JME as the daylight is starting to approach there. Kevin, as Jack Laverty's now fancying his chances with Lewis Curtis going on the inside. And the position is done, it looks like. Oh no, they're still side by side as Lewis Marshall's AI finally pits.
Matthew Oler seems a lot closer. He's going to have DRS going down the start-finish straight. He's within 3/10 now coming out of the first corner.
I've got to cut you off
a little bit wide.
Lewis Curtis just got shoved off the track there by Jack there. Jack was on the outside, and it just looked like the rear tyre just hit Lewis's front and went completely off. Sorry to cut you off there, as you were saying about Matthew Order possibly making a move on Jay, as we will go on board with that right now if you want to finish that off.
On the exit, he's still there. He has a full battery as well. Jay, not so much. He's closing once again. He's actually brakes very late and has a little bit of a lock-up, but he can't make the move. It looks like Jay is really just controlling this race. Matthews can't find a way around. He can't get close enough on the straights to make a move.
Well, yeah, it looks like these two are going to be the only ones challenging for the win, really. As Jay is basically in 0 ERS, so is Matthew at certain points. And they basically got full battery. And I think Matthew's being patient. I think he's going to wait a while, save his ERS a lot more, save his fuel, and then go and attack near the end of this race. 1 lap 23, of course, as Voss gets ahead of Jamie now. So Jamie loses another position. Although Lewis Curtis with that contact was a big hit as Brandon and Casper finally make their pit stops. I wonder where they're going to come out in these fights right now, as we'll go on board with JME. He runs a little bit wide on the final corners. Jack Lavity is also catching up with Matthew Collins. But if Matthew Waller does catch up a little bit more,
Matthew Waller is much closer to Jay now. He's in the DRS slipstream as well. He's actually going to be able to make a move from the outside. Jay defends to the inside. He's going to have a little look around the outside. Can he get a switchback done? No. Jay holds him off just. Can he maybe make a move there on the outside though? Jay defends once again. He's going to get the switchback. He's just defending so well, Jay is right now. And he keeps Matthew behind. That was a little chance that Matthew saw. He went for it. But Jay stays ahead for now.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to be a bit annoyed with me actually, because I kind of cut that off because there was an actually three-way battle between Pedro, Jamie, and Voss there for P4. But you're right, Matthew looking a bit quicker
actually,
now.
Once again, yeah, on the exit of turn 1, he's going to open the DRS. Maybe he's going to make an overtake into the hairpin. Jay, of course, doesn't have anyone in front of him to slipstream or get DRS off. He's going to go down the inside this time into the hairpin. Can he make it this time? He's much more side by side. He actually gets it just ahead on the exit. They're still side by side. Can Jay maybe pull into the slipstream now? No. Matthew does get it into first place. And finally, after many laps of following him, he is now the one who's going to be chased.
Well, that's good to hear then, but right now we're on board with a three-way battle, possibly approaching almost four-way battle if Matthew Collins starts picking up the pace a little bit more. For P4 right now, Voss, JME, Jack Lavity and Matthew Collins, as it looks like Voss got a bit of wing damage there as well, and the end plate's a bit missing, so maybe this is why he hasn't caught up between Cameron Young. The gap's 14.4 seconds. Here comes JME then. Just the switch, possibly going to go on the inside. He's thinking about it, got a bit of alongside, backs off there, and it goes into the slipstream. As Jay now is going to have to possibly save his ERS, as Jack Lavity's gone on the outside of JME Morris. They're going side by side through the final two corners, and Jack Lavity gets it round the outside, and this guy is on a mission after what happened to him earlier on. And now he's thinking about making a move now on Voss, on the inside, possibly into turn 1. And the job is done and dusted. Great move there from Jack Lavity. Keeps the position. And Jamie now is probably looking hungry and Voss as Jack's trying to break the slipstream effect.
Oh, is he round?
Jamie
out. Morris into the wall, and he is out of the Austrian Grand Prix.
That's a VSC. I didn't see that. Was there contact between him and Matthew, or was that just with the slipstream effect?
No, it was Jack who moved over to cover the inside. Siegemann followed him for slipstream. Jamie did the same. He clipped the grass, and that's what put him round and out of the race.
Oh, that is not good then to hear. It's great news for Jay though, because he can save all his ERS and get his ERS back. And Cameron Young's actually pitting. That is interesting. What tyres will he go on? Let's have a look. He can go soft, so possibly could go up the end. He is going soft then.
I'd say he may well come back out in third place here. He will come back out in third place. That was actually a very good pit stop, because now if there's a sudden safety car, he'll be on fresh softs.
That is true, of course. DRS has now been enabled. So we're now back to green flag racing then, as Voss has pitted then for the wing damage to try and score racing points from fastest lap points. But it's only going to be one, of course, as Jack Lavity is 1.5 seconds off Cameron Young, but Cameron Young can have the advantage on those soft tyres.
I'm just having a look at who actually has the fastest lap right now.
It's actually Diego in 13th on mediums, 6.6. Oh, sorry, in softs I think he did it on 6.6, 6.9.
Yeah, I thought maybe Jay might have had it and it was a bit of strategy for Cameron to take it off him, but actually it's not.
Well, do you think, right, with 8 laps, do you think Cameron could catch 20 seconds? Those soft tyres are going to be a lot quicker than those mediums. Both around about 2 seconds, roughly, I believe. Do you think Cameron in 8 laps could catch up and possibly challenge a fight near the end of this race, or do you think that's completely out of the question?
I don't think he can, but also going on the softs I think was the right call, because where he wasn't catching them, he wasn't falling back either, so this will give him something to at least start making some ground up, but I don't think he's going to make enough ground to catch the top 2, but then I don't think he was going to catch him anyway, so I think it was just to cover off any chance that the guys behind might get him. I mean, soft tires, less chance of mistake, fresh, so yeah, I think it was just a bit of security for him. I don't think I don't think he'll think that he'll get the top 2.
While we were talking about that, I just saw Casper then make a move on Eric in the position.
Yeah, Jay's going for a move on Matthew Alder once again. He's going to go for the outside. He's much more alongside than he was on previous occasions, and he's going to get that move done into the hairpin. But now Matthew Alder is going to be the one with the DRS, and he may well come back to steal that first place back off him. Could he go late on brakes? No, he stays behind us, although he gets really, really close. And Jay takes back his first spot.
That is true, of course. Matthew Alder then is only a couple of tenths off Jay, and they've been like this all race, switching a few times. As right now then, Eric...
Yes, 7 laps to go at the end of this one. And of course, if they keep fighting like this, maybe Cameron Young will catch up, you never know.
Well, yeah, the gap's now closed to 18.2 seconds in a couple of laps, so it could possibly happen. I'm not saying it is guaranteed, of course, but it'll be a big task if you can do it. But Matthew now is starting to close up a little bit, and both drivers have used a little bit more of their ERS. However, Jay has got a bit more ERS compared to Matthew, so Jay doesn't really have to worry that much. He only has to use it for a bit of defending and then just literally save as much ERS as he can. As Matthew tries to get closed up again, and this time lost a little bit of time there at turn, well, 3 it says on the map, but it's actually turn 2 in my opinion. As Cameron has gained now 17.7 seconds, the gap is now to second place.
Yeah, I think for the rest of this race we can just agree that the hairpin is turn 2 and then just go from there. Might make it a bit easier.
A little bit easier for us. There's battles all over the place. There's another battle for P13, well P12 actually, but that ain't 4 points position, and it looks like Diego is somehow got the advantage on those mediums compared to Felix on softs, which is quite interesting. Maybe Felix is backing off so he can go for another fastest lap, possibly. Look at Jay, he saved a lot more ERS by like a couple of percent more than Matthew. As we'll stay on board with this fight, possibly near to the end of the race, as now the gap from Cameron to Matthew 16.9 seconds.
Diego just made it past Felix. Felix made a small mistake. Actually, well, a bit more of a small mistake, and Diego makes it past.
It was Matthew Alder there through turn 2. It was only like millimetres off Jay's rear tyre there with his front wing. So Matthew is absolutely nailing these braking zones and knows when to brake the car. I've got to say, these two have had a good season. I thought Matthew would have dominated the season, but Jay has stepped up to the plate this season, challenging Matthew Alder, maybe losing at the moment with Matthew championship points leader, but you've got to give Jay the credit what he deserves. You know, he's been up there with Matthew, and I think Jay, with being up there, and Matthew has got faster and faster as Felix has another 3-second time penalty to his time. He isn't going to lose a position because the gap between him and Lewis Marshall is like 15 seconds, and it's his AI. So.
And it looks like Matthew's going to be able to make a move once again coming into the hairpin. Lap 32 out of 36. 5 laps remain now. And he's going to be in the slipstream, DRS activated as well. He's going to be going maybe down the inside. He sticks behind for now. He gets right up the back of him. Can he get a good exit and maybe challenge him down into turn 3? He's going to be in the slipstream, of course. He activates DRS, overtake mode. He's maybe gonna go down the inside. He locks up, and he has to stick behind.
And that's Felix round there. Felix made a mistake, and he's retired. I don't know why he's retired. I don't even think that's within the 90% rule, is it, Kevin? Lap 32 out of 36. I think it's lap 34, isn't it? 90%.
Yeah, I don't think that's within it.
Well, he's not going to score any points anyway, but that's unfortunate there for him. He is out. Could have gone to the end of the race, but I think he's had enough with that mistake. And Matthew lost a little bit of time there. Can you keep an eye on... Oh no, sorry, it doesn't matter. Actually, yeah, can you actually keep an eye on the fight also with Brandon and Matthew Collins? Because that is also getting closed up as well. If it gets like to a 10th, we will switch to that. But Matthew, yet again, round the outside, possibly into turn 2. Jay shows him the door. You're not having it. You're going to have to do a lot better than that, Matthew, if you want to try and get this position. Jay is basically saying. And Matthew is replying with the outside. And there's a bit of wheel banging between the championship rivals. Jay and Matthew there. It's so close to each other. But a lot of respect towards each other as well.
Yeah, I just checked their lap 33, and anything after it is within the 90% rule. So no, Felix won't be a classified finisher.
Oh, that's unfortunate for him. So he will be an official DNF then. Very disappointing. It's actually quite cool, actually. Both Alfa Romeos 17th and 18th DNF, and both Red Bulls 15th and 16th DNF.
Yeah, Matthew Alder going down the inside of Jay once again, and he actually gets it into turn 1, and he's going to get the second bar to the cherry as well with the DRS for the second straight, so it's not going to help Jay trying to follow him. He's going to get really close, and actually hits Matthew. He didn't get wing damage from it. Matthew was able to stay ahead. I was actually going to say that Jay's doing exactly what Matthew was doing with the late braking, getting really close to him, but he actually hit him.
Yeah, that is true though, but Jay could be playing this very tactically right now. He can save all his DRS, and he has 2 more attempts to try and win this race. As Matthew Collins and Brendan are still fighting out for P5 right now. There's only 12 runners at the moment left in this race. Matthew is picking up the pace a little bit now, but Jay is literally staying with him with the DRS. Go on board with Matthew then. See how he will try and finish off the lap and try and win the race from starting on pole. I think these two are the only guys who stayed in their positions they started in. Oh, and Eric as well, and Diego.
Yeah, Jay is... Oh no, he's not. Very, very close there. I'm sure Jay thought of it as Matthew has to correct his car a little bit on the exit. That's not going to help him on traction, and Jay is going to be able to maybe make a move around the outside. He's going to go for it around the outside. Matthew Walder covers the inside and locks up, and he's going to keep the position. Jay didn't get the switchback line, and maybe if he did, he could have taken that first place.
Well, I think that was actually very smart there from Jay. Jay has got 1 more attempt to do it, and he has to nail this attempt, and Matthew will know this now, that he's going to be seriously under pressure. And Matthew's got a lot of pressure on him for this season. He could be the first back-to-back champion in IRL right now, as he's picked up the pace a little bit now. So Jay, he's going to have to start picking up the pace back up. Matthew has got a 3-second time penalty. Matthew Alder has bottled it. He has done the bottle, and Matthew Alder will not be getting the win at the moment, I don't believe, because I ain't seen Jay get a penalty at all.
Yeah, but here comes Jay anyway. I'm sure he wants to finish it on track ahead of him, and he's going to go down the inside of his title rival in the final lap of the Austrian Grand Prix, and he gets it up into first place. But now here comes Matthew Alder. He's going to have to defend to the inside. He does. Matthew's going to have to go to the outside, side by side once again, and Jay's going to keep it. Oh, Matthew gets the switchback line side by side. Once again, Matthew is going to have to try and hold it around the outside. It doesn't look like he has the line to do it. And he actually hits him there. No wing damage as far as I can see. And it looks like that is Jay's final chance. He's taking it.
As here comes
And
Jay
it
then.
looks like Jay is going to come across the line to win.
Matthew balled it under the pressure. Commentator's curse. Here comes Jay then, deserving win, and takes the championship fight back to Matthew. Jay takes the lead. Matthew Order in second. It looks like Cameron Young will be third with the gap he's got, unless he's got some surprising penalties, which I don't believe he's got any at all. But here he comes then through the final corner. Will take third. So Williams are going to get the most in the constructors. As Jack Laverty will take fourth. Will be a bit disappointed with the contact he had with Cameron, but he wouldn't have got that anyway by penalties. As Matthew Collins then will round up in fifth. Brandon Glover does retake fifth. Matthew Collins is in sixth now. Casper will take seventh, as Eric will be happy with eighth. Voss in 10th there. Pedro jumps them both to jump to 8th there from 10th. Lewis Curtis takes 11th. And here comes Diego then, the last finisher. But what a drive there from Jay. Great. I've got to say, Matthew and Jay, well up there as driver of the day. Both of them deserve it equally. You know, it's just the respect they have for each other.
I have to say, Jared, I did the math, and actually Mercedes is going to score the most points today instead of...
Are they?
Yeah, because Williams had...
Oh yeah.
18 plus 15, and that would be 33 or 32. And obviously Mercedes 25 plus 10 is 35. So Mercedes is actually going to have the most points.
Well, that's what Jay and Brand want to hear. As Jay then takes the top 7 podium this season, is its second win of this season. Matthew yet again in second. Cameron Young third. This is basically like Bahrain yet again. The top 4, I think, basically were the same. And I've got to say, Jay and Matthew equally deserve driver of the day in my opinion. Kevin, what do you think on that?
I'd have to agree with you there. I'm just getting the clip.
Okay then, as I will go down the grid then now. Jay then takes pole position with Matthew Order in second. We'll be a bit disappointed that he got that penalty late on. Cameron Young did have a penalty but got the fastest lap, I believe. Did a 5.6 in third. Jack Laverty fourth. Brandon Glover happy in fifth. Constructors, highest constructor points will go to Mercedes then. Matthew Collins in sixth. Casper seventh. Pedro in eighth. Eric in 9th and Voss in 10th in the race point now no longer a reserve. Lewis Curtis in 11th. Disappointing day for him today. Diego in 12th. A good recovery drive, I can say, really, after he had that 5 grid place penalty. Lewis Marshall, who lagged out. Aaron Collingwood also lagged out, so they will class as DNFs. Felix, Jamie, Lucas Serra, Lyon, and Sandra Sohal and Ollie Flavel all DNF'd in today's race. Wow, what a race between the top 2 there. Best race you and me, I believe, have commentated with Matthew and Jay there, just driving astonishingly. But do you think with that 3-second penalty, do you think Jay would have still won, or do you think Matthew would have fighted a little bit more aggressively? And yeah,
hang on.
Okay,
there we go. Yeah, obviously it was a great fight. Matthew did get the 3-second time penalty at the end, but obviously Jay still finished ahead on track, so I would say fully deserved win from Jay. No mistakes. Obviously we saw at the start as well, Matthew following Jay, if you remember in the hairpin, he outbraked himself and lost about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. So yeah, Jay, he was consistent. He didn't make any mistakes as far as I remember. So yeah, I think fully deserved win from Jay today.
Okay then, well, that is Kevin's opinion and our opinion as well. If you guys want to choose your opinion, do leave them in the comments, of course, as we're going to invite Jay doesn't have a mic, does he? So Jack can do comms, do an interview today if he wants. As we will go on board, what is the next round? The next round is actually not USA, it's Great Britain, my home track. Unfortunately I won't be racing for F2, but it is Britain on 9th of May, Silverstone, which will be a very interesting fight between Jay and Matthew. While we wait for them to join, of course. As I'll just let them know in the PSN chat as well. some reason it's not allowing me to send a message for some reason. Have they joined? No. Give me 2 seconds.
Wait, they're... Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Well, while we wait for them to join, I have to let them know. Well, we do have the runner-up then in the Austria Grand Prix, Matthew.
That is my name.
Well, it was Driving God. I think that title's now gone to Jay. But well then, Matthew. We might as well start off with you while we wait for your teammate if he's possibly joining. Oh, yep, he is here then. Well, good result. Second, unfortunately, you didn't get pole. Well, the win. Was that all part of your plan with the strategy with the tricky conditions of trying to win the race, or do you think you could possibly not beat Jay today on his form as he just looked really strong and competitive today?
I think I had the pace over Jay over the entire race, but yeah, I just think that I just wasn't really consistent. As you saw, I almost hit Jay like 3 times. And I wasn't really driving good, so but yeah, I guess I could say I was going for the win. I knew I was going to get a penalty even if it came really late, but I was surprised I made it so far.
Yeah, well, with that penalty adding on to your time near the end, did that frustrate you a little bit? And basically, it did cost you the win towards Jay, of course. If you didn't have that penalty, would you have defended a little bit more aggressively or changed a bit of the scenario and attacked more? Or were you attacking 100% even with that penalty at the end of that race?
I did try and get back past him, and I don't think I would have defended more, to be honest. I don't think I would have won the race, even without the penalty.
Well, I've got to say, mate, it's been a great battle. You and Jay showed a lot of respect for each other, side by side a lot of times, especially with you nailing those braking zones, avoiding hitting him. There was a little bit of contact between you and Jay a few times, you with the double left-hander and Jay with the turn 2 hairpin. Do you think they were just little mistakes, or do you think it could have been deliberate or anything like that? Or was that just not in your mind? You were just focusing just having this amazing constant battle each lap going by?
Well, I don't really know what you're talking about by the double left one. I don't remember having contact with him there. But and I don't think it's anyone's aim to try and keep a battle going if they want to win. So no, I didn't want to keep the battle going, I just wanted to win. And if it meant battling him, then yeah, it meant battling.
Right then, well, I'll ask you the quick final question, unless Kevin, you've got a question to ask the championship points leader, Matthew Alder.
Nope. Don't.
Alright then. Well, the final question then is Britain next week. How do you feel you're going to be at that track? Do you think you could take the win instead of Jay this time, or do you think it's going to be another close fight between you and Jay?
It's not a pad track this time, it's more of a wheel track, so I'd say I can win. It just depends on if he's able to keep the DRS with me.
Okay then, well that's Matthew Alder's hopes, possibly trying to get a win then. Well, I've got to say congratulations on second place. Unfortunately you didn't get the win today, but either way, both you and Jay deserve drive of the day with an amazing battle and respect towards each other. And congratulations, and thank you for joining us for the interview. Well then, Kevin, if you want to take Cameron for his little interview then, and I'll try and get Jack if he wants to join.
That you've muted unless you...
He's
unmuted.
on mute. Yeah, he's on mute.
Okay, yeah. So, Cameron?
Yeah.
Cool. So obviously you had a bit of a quiet race. You kind of wasn't really... You were in a bit of a battle for a bit, but obviously you were on the fresher tyres there too. Most of the race you were kind of just following, kind of seeing Matthew and Jay pull off into the distance, really? How was it for you?
The race is okay, but as soon as I got a DRS, it was hard to try and get back in because it's slipstream, and obviously the DRS is so powerful, so it was quite hard. But I think overall it was a good race, and getting a fast lap at the end was quite important as well.
Yeah, was it a scheduled stop? Did you think that you'd pit anyway, seeing the gap, or did you see a VSC and say, okay, I'm just going to go straight in and put on a fresh set?
I was thinking about pitting because the gap was obviously getting bigger and bigger to Thijman, but I wasn't going to risk it. But then when the VSC came out, I knew obviously I could pit without risking getting overtaken, and then obviously having to build a gap because I depend to Thijman or Jack. But yeah, I think the VSC did play a big part with me pitting.
Yeah, obviously you're picking up another podium. Do you think that you can keep these consistent? I mean, obviously the top two seem quite far away in the championship, but do you think if you keep this up you could snatch a P3?
Yeah, I think I could. I think the start of the season wasn't the best, and obviously I've had a few bad races for like France, for instance, but I think P3 is definitely available, as well as, Aaron's obviously getting a few disconnects, so I think it's definitely up for grabs.
And next race is Britain, as Jared said. Matthew's saying it's a bit of a wheel track. How do you think you'll go around there?
I think I'm quite competitive on there, to be honest. I think my pace has improved since last time we raced there, so I think I could challenge once again for a podium.
Okay, congratulations on your podium this week, and good luck for next week.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations both Williams drivers there for taking the podiums, second and third. Unfortunately, you couldn't get the 1-2, of course. But yep, thank you guys again for the interview. Well then, Kevin, it's been an immense battle with Mercedes and Williams all season. Do you think Williams are going to be at the top near the end of the season, or do you think Mercedes could now try and challenge, with Brand possibly picking up the pace a little bit to try and help Jay out in the constructors?
Well, it kind of looks like Williams have it, to be honest. Obviously Matthew is quite far ahead. It looks like he'll most likely take it. Obviously Cameron's there as well. He's been putting good performances. He's quick as well, so I'd say Williams will be able to get it. Also, if they get a bit of bad luck, then maybe Mercedes could have a look, but they seem quite comfortable right now.
Well done. Well, I actually got anything to add, and I don't think you've got anything to add then. Well then, we will do the closing down procedures for this round then, as we will be back at Great Britain at round 8, where Brett will be back in the Red Bull, and he will be hopefully trying to get some wins or podiums under his belt in Britain. Well then, I've been your commentator, IRL Neon, or as people know me as Jared Fosbury. Just been joined by my co-commentator, Kevin Harrison, or as Aspect, or Nexus Aspect, as some people may know him as. Yeah, God, that race has absolutely drained me. Well, if you want to see more content then of the F1 tier, join us next week, Saturday, 6 o'clock, same time. Same commentators, of course. But if you want to see some content from F2 and F3, join us tomorrow at 4:30 UK time with Lance and possibly myself with him, since I'm now reserve. And for F3, it will be back to the original commentators. Felix and Sondre Sohaug will be back for F3. So, have a nice day, guys, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.